Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. First question, in your opinion, how big is this fight?
I believe it's enormous on this scale because we know Ryan Garcia, he has following.
Yeah.
You know, people have been following him on social media. We've seen some of his fights, you know, and Tank Davis the same way. We know what Tank has because of the opponents that he faced. We know what Ryan Garcia could do. We know that Ryan Garcia has Golden Boy Promotion, Oscar De La Hoya. We know that Tank Davis, you know, has some kind of dealings with, you know, Money Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe and things like that. So, you know, I think this fight is needful because we know that a lot of fights did not transpire behind certain situations. But like Ryan Garcia said, that he took whatever he needed to take to be able to make this fight happen. And I believe that some other fighters probably need to look at this and understand that if the fans are clamoring for a fight, why not give it to them? I mean, if I say that I want to see something, I'm going to pay for it. If I say I don't want to see it, I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis need to make this fight happen so we can get past that chapter and then be able to get to the next chapter. Not saying that the loser will be forgotten, no, because we seen what happened to Rolly Romero. He lost and he gained from that loss. You know, he can go and fight other people. Now, he might not decide he want to fight other people, but he is able to fight other people. So I think this fight is needful for the sport of boxing because people are growing weary and tired. And we've seen enough trash talking. After trash talking, it's time to get in the ring. If you go trash talk, get in the ring. Don't trash talk if you don't want to get in the ring. Yep. Now, I understand everybody loves trash talking. We like that. After trash talking, we all riled up. We want to see that fight.
Yeah, Isaac Cruz. He became more popular and more famous.
Exactly.
And he was not the first person to get that fight. He was a replacement. Yeah. And he still made something happen.
Exactly.
So even in boxing, just because you lose a fight doesn't necessarily mean you will lose a fan. You can lose a fight and win a fan.
Exactly.
And this sport is all about winning the fans.
Exactly.
Because when you win the fans, you win the funds. So, you know, I think it's a major fight. And I have to say this on record. Both promotional companies, every entity involved should get credit for helping putting this thing together.
Yeah.
If the Zone is going to help cross-market this promotion, great. Salute to the Zone. Showtime, we already know they're going to be a part of it. Salute to Showtime. De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. Salute to them. PBC, TGB Promotions, Al Heyman, Mayweather Promotions. Salute to them. This is a big fight.
Yes.
And people have their speculations. I don't want to run the rehydration clause situation into the ground because you were on my panel. You talked about that on your on the channel, giving your take. I spoke on it. You were on your channel. You spoke on it. I don't want to run that to the ground.
Yes.
But I want to ask you this in your opinion. Who do you think is going to win that fight, and why do you think they'll win the fight?
I mean, you have to give both fighters a chance. And we all know, just like Tank. Tank said he would have to take this fight very seriously because he know what Ryan Garcia could do. We're not saying that Ryan Garcia don't have a chance to win. Everybody has their own opinion who they feel like that will win. The same way as I said with David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. I gave Caleb Plant and said before the fight that I would give him the early rounds and give David the latter rounds. And I think in this fight between David, as far as Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis, I would give the edge to Tank Davis. But I know Ryan Garcia, he has speed. You know what I'm saying? He can move around the ring. He's actually taller, has longer reach, you know. Now, I don't think he's been on the stage like this as far as the lights and everything and all the hype, you know. But that don't mean that he can't win because we know that Caleb Plant had fought Canelo and he was on that stage, but he still got in the ring with David Benavidez, which we know and believe that David Benavidez probably wasn't in a fight that was hyped up like Canelo and Caleb Plant, so he still got the victory. So, I mean, there's different ways you can look at it, but I would say that I believe that, you know, Ryan Garcia probably get knocked out,
Wow.
you know, by Tank Davis because, I mean, if your chin is there and you get tapped, you gone. Now, if Ryan Garcia could continue his plan all the way from the beginning to the very end, he might have a chance to beat by points. I believe that Ryan Garcia might. I didn't look at the stats yet as far as the punch stats to see who throw more punches, but I would think that Ryan Garcia probably throw more punches than Tank Davis. But just like we know of Deontay Wilder, you could win 11 and a half rounds and get knocked out the last half of the 12 rounds. So I mean, in this, I give Tank the edge, but I'm not counting Ryan Garcia out.
Yeah. I give him the edge too, and I'll tell you where I give him the edge at. Of course, like you talked about, his reach. He does have the reach advantage.
Yes.
Obviously, he will have the height advantage. So I have to give him that. He has a left hook that he throws and land, you know, very well. I want to see Ryan Garcia establish the jab early. I'm gonna need him to. I need to see that.
Yeah.
Because once he's establishing that jab early, then what happens is he's going to dictate not only the pace and the rhythm, but he's also going to basically control the real estate of the ring, showing that ring generalship.
Yes.
You know, and the jab is going to set up the left hook, the jab can set up the right hand, either way. Because we know that Tank starts relatively slow.
Yes.
Hence the name Tank, right? But the thing is, I said this about another fight, and I'll say it about this one. The same thing I said about Caleb Plant. When you in there with somebody like a David Benavidez, a Tank Davis, a Deontay Wilder, and Errol Spence, the fighters that can really put you out of there, you have to jump on them early.
Yes.
You have to gain their respect and push them back early.
Yes.
If you don't do that, if you can make it and survive through the later rounds, that's where they're torn up on you.
Yeah.
And it's going to be all over. And we know that Ryan Garcia has been knocked down before from a puncher who punched, I think, a little bit less powerful than Tank. So if Tank hits you with that same punch, you might not get up. Or if you get up, you might stumble, just like Rolly Romero did, and the ref can wave that off. So these guys are two competitive, undefeated fighters. So I agree. I am going to give Ryan Garcia the respect that he deserves. But to me, I don't think that this fight is going to go past 8 rounds. I believe in round 6 or 7 or 8. That's when I believe Tank is going to turn up. And he might knock Ryan Garcia out.
I noticed one thing about Tank too, that he's and most fighters do this, you know, they study their opponents. Because I remember seeing the access of Tank this morning, and you said you watched it, you know, last night.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it last night. Yeah,
and they was talking about when Tank knocked out Santa Cruz, and they said that Santa Cruz threw that same punch 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
and the third time he threw it, Tank went up under with the uppercut and knocked him out cold. So Tank is paying attention. Now, I'm not saying that Ryan Garcia ain't, but I believe that it's a lot on Ryan Garcia lap right now at this time when he get in the ring with it, because he knows that Tank Davis can give you that night quill. You get that night quill, you gone. So he has a plan. All he have to do is execute it. Tank has a plan. All he have to do is execute it, and we're gonna see, you know, who's victorious at the end of the round, end of the fight.
Now let me say this, since we talked about that, Tank Davis, he has Calvin Ford in his corner. He's been with Calvin Ford throughout the amateurs since he was a little kid. So he recognizes his voice.
Yes.
He knows, you know, what Calvin Ford can and will tell him in the corner.
Yes.
What about Ryan Garcia? He's with a Hall of Fame trainer that's in his corner, Joe Goosen. He doesn't recognize Joe Goosen's voice well enough if he's in trouble. We've seen Joe Goosen, when a fighter was in trouble, will him back to a win in dramatic fashion. And I'm referring to, this is like over 20-something years ago, when Jose Luis Castillo fought Diego Corrales. Joe Goosen was the trainer in Diego Corrales' corner. R.I.P. to Diego Corrales. And Diego got knocked down like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Spit his mouthpiece out several times. Got a point deducted by the referee at that time, Tony Weeks, Hall of Fame referee. Joe Goosen said the right words to motivate Diego in the corner every round. And next thing you know, Diego definitely executed, and he got Castillo out of there.
Yes.
By TKO. Will that play a part in this fight, having that kind of experienced trainer in the corner of Ryan Garcia to will him to win when or if he gets in the same trouble like a Diego Corrales, getting knocked down and whatnot?
Well, we know both of those fighters was great fighters. We know that for a fact. So we already knew that they had things in their arsenal, and at any time the tables could turn just with those fighters alone. Now we know that we're not saying that Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia is on that level, but it's gonna all boil down to the fighter listening, be able to comprehend, and be able to execute. So just because you have a Hall of Fame trainer or whatever trainer that might be in your corner, he ain't the one fighting. He's the one who giving instruction. Just like we seen with Anthony Joshua, and he's being trained by Derrick James. So the fighter have to know who he is. When you get hurt and things are not working the way that you thought it was going to work, can you overcome? Can you still go in there and grind? Will you give up? You know what I'm saying? Will you just fall back into submission? I mean, whatever. So we have to figure out when we seen when Ryan Garcia was knocked down, he came back for a victory, but that was not against a Tank Davis.
Yeah.
He went down against a guy who's not known for knocking people down. But we know Tank Davis, he hit you one of those punches, you might not come back until tomorrow. So, like I said before, we need to see what kind of Ryan Garcia is coming to the table, just like we all said with the fight that just happened not too long ago with Caleb Plant and David Benavidez, that we seen what happened when Plant fought against Canelo. So we wanted to know which Plant is coming, because we knew that his stamina was an issue. We knew these things. We know, for as Ryan Garcia, that he got knocked down by a feather hand guy. You know what I'm saying? So, and we understand that you get hit with a punch you don't see, and that's one of the worst ones, no matter if your chin is durable or not. But we need to find out which Ryan Garcia is coming to the table, and we also need to see which Tank is coming to the table. So, far as Ryan Garcia, he needs to be able to weather the storm with the information that his coach is giving him.
Yeah, good point.